my name's Julie. I'm a professional counselor in South Carolina, and that's my co-counselor, Ed. This is a channel covering all kinds of things mental health related, and so far on the channel, since I've just only begun, we've discussed cognitive distortions, you know, that lens through which we view the world, how sometimes it's a little bit off, and so we need to understand that sometimes we have distorted lenses and we need to assess that. We've also explored boundaries, where I end and where I begin, and what things I can say yes to and what I can say no to so that I can take control of my life. Remember that book by John Cloud and Henry Townsend? Great book to look at if we're discussing boundaries. So if we have the knowledge of these cognitive distortions and we have the knowledge of boundaries, why is it still so difficult for some of us to speak up for ourselves? That's what we're going to be exploring today. One of the many reasons that people have difficulty speaking up for themselves, and that's due to a low sense of self-worth. So today we're going to explore the self-talk that contributes to that holds us back from making changes in our life. Sit back and let's learn about this together. So today there's going to be a little bit of interaction at Orange Therapy on YouTube. So I'd like you to get up from your seat and go and get yourself some paper and a pen. All right, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. Seriously, go do it. You have your paper and your pen? Cool, excellent. So like the introduction stated in this video, I can begin to understand that I'm misrepresenting the situation and I'm viewing the world through distorted lenses of cognitive distortions that I am engaging with. I can understand that that's increasing my level of anxiety because I'm misreading, right? I can also begin to understand that I'm allowed to speak up for myself in certain situations. I can notice boundary violations. I can even notice my anger rising when my boundaries are violated. And I can still struggle with implementation of speaking up for myself. So why is that? Well, there are lots of reasons, but the one that we're going to discuss today is a sense of negative self-worth. It can be something that holds us back. They think, you know, I don't deserve to speak up for myself. Why bother speaking up? It's not going to make a difference. Or even, you know, I can take it. It's just me. Well, here's the reason why I believe you shouldn't just take it. You have value. As a human being created in the image of God, which is my belief, you have value. Even if you don't follow so far as my beliefs, to believe that human beings have value isn't such a stretch. And there are punishments for hurting human beings. We all have value, yes? Yeah, we do. If I don't believe that I have self-worth, though, I'm not going to speak up for myself. I may believe that others have value and worth, and I'll speak up for them, but I have difficulty doing the same for myself. Why is that? Where does this sense of self-worth originate? You know, we carry it out and we perpetuate it through our self-talk, which we're going to discuss today. But where does it come from? Our self-talk is derived from messages we received as children from our parents, our teachers, our classmates, society. And not all of these were intentional messages. But as children, we interpret situations, we take in information, and it becomes our story, our sense of self-worth. Don Miguel Ruiz, in his book, The Four Agreements, tells a story of a little girl who is so happy one day, and she's just singing and she's dancing because she just feels so wonderful. But her mother has had a really hard day at work, and her mom has a migraine. And she finally loses it with her daughter and says, "Shut up. You have such an ugly voice. I don't want to hear you singing. Nobody wants to hear you singing. Just shut up." And the little girl doesn't sing again. Not for many, many years, until she starts doing work like we're doing right now, like you can do with a counselor. And she discovers that that was a message her mother gave her. It's not the truth. But for years, she didn't sing because she thought she had an ugly voice and nobody wanted to hear it. Once she realized that that was her mother being upset and not the truth being spoken over her, but rather an angry lie that she had accepted, she began to change. Jim Quick calls a lie a limited idea entertained. I love that acronym. And it's true. You know, the little girl believed that she had an ugly voice, so she never sang again. What if you believe that nobody likes you, or nobody wants to hear what you have to say, or you're too much, or too sensitive, or not enough, or you'll never learn, or you'll never get anything right? Are you going to speak up in situations where you maybe misunderstand something? Where you're wondering if one of these cognitive distortions is at play? Are you going to feel confident if this is your internal dialogue to go and address it? Probably not. If we have these automatic negative thoughts, or ANTS, that are lies, limited ideas entertained, if we are carrying these, then it's going to stop us from living our life to the fullest. So I bet you're wondering why you have that piece of paper. Some of you probably have already figured it out. I would like you, just for a moment, to think about all of your limiting ideas and all of your negative thoughts, these automatic negative thoughts. It helps sometimes to think of situations. So one I use with my clients is something that I used to do. I don't anymore. But I would do something like, maybe I would drop my pen and I would go, "Oh, you're such an idiot." Right? That's an automatic negative thought. Am I an idiot? You might think so. I'm not an idiot. I just dropped my pen. And so now if I drop my pen, I might go, "Whoops, I dropped my pen." I'm not a klutz. I'm not clumsy. I'm not an idiot. I just dropped my pen. And people do that sometimes when they're not concentrating on holding their pens and they don't pick it up fully. All right. So right now I want you to just take a moment while I sip on my tea, and I'm going to set a timer. Take 30, 60 seconds if you have to pause this video because you have way more than the time allowed in the video today. I want you to write down your automatic negative thoughts. All of these negative self-talk pieces. I want you to write down your negative self-talk. All right. Just take a moment and do this. Do you have them all written down? All right, we're going to talk about how to stop it. And I want you to picture a young child that you know, somebody that you love dearly. Maybe it's a child or a grandchild. Maybe it's a niece or a nephew or a child down the block. But I want you to think about a child. I really want you to picture them. I want you to picture them looking up at you with big, loving eyes. And I want you to look at your list, and I want you to imagine saying those things to that child. Ouch, right? Yeah. So if we wouldn't want to say those things to a beautiful young child, why would we say those to ourselves? We do. All the time, all day long, we're speaking this negativity over our inner child. We're carrying that child with us. So if I think about this inner child being within me, and I am parenting this inner child, because that's what this dialogue is about. It's about what I carried from my youth. When I hear these things coming up, I need to battle them with the truth. Remember, these are lies that we're speaking over ourselves. That limited idea entertained. If I think, oh, I'm such an idiot, it's not true. What is the truth? I dropped my pen. If I think, you're never going to learn anything, you're such an idiot, you're so stupid, it's not true. I've learned lots of things. I've learned how to walk and talk and sing and sort of dance and work my computer and my smartphone. I've learned lots of things. I just haven't learned how to do this particular thing yet. And it's difficult to learn new things, but I'm going to get it because I'm persistent. We take each of the thoughts as they come up and we tell ourselves the truth about them. I'm too sensitive. Am I too sensitive? Or do I feel things deeply and I'm being hurt by people? I'm allowed to feel my feelings. Remember that from our boundaries? I'm not too sensitive. I'm feeling these things deeply, and then I need to figure out what I need to do for them to care for myself. It takes time. We need to unlearn these negative thoughts. We need to unlearn our ANTS. We need to unlearn our lies. As you are working through these automatic negative thoughts, it can be beneficial to have a picture of yourself at 5 years old. And it's something that I did for a very long time. As another counselor had encouraged me to do, I encourage you to do the same. Take a picture of yourself at 4, 5, 6 years old and look at that little person. Would you want those things to be spoken over that little person? I wouldn't either. So don't say them to yourself, because that little person is still inside you. If you're struggling with low self-esteem that is impacting your ability to speak out in situations where you need to, then find a mental health counselor in your area that you mesh well with and do the work. And it is work. So I hope that you engage in the process. I hope that you do the work. And I hope that you learned something here today at Orange Therapy on YouTube, where you are welcome just as you are.